On a bright morning, sun rises over the red hills of New Benin in Benin City, glinting off dew-covered palm trees as birds sing above the quiet village. A young man named Osas stands beside his mother's mud house, holding a torn bag and staring into the distance with determination in his eyes. Ready to move. His auntie Tessie Omo, popularly known as Aunty Osas in New Benin, an aging woman in a faded wrapper, places her trembling hand on his shoulder and whispers blessings. A day before his departure to Lagos. Close-up of her tear-filled eyes as she says in her mind, "My son, God will bless you, don't lose your soul while chasing money. God will go before you, my son." Osas walks down the dusty road with determination, not minding what will come about him or the challenges he will face, his shadow long behind him, the sound of church bells echoing from afar. A rickety bus filled with travelers rolls past green farmlands. Osas clutches a Bible and looks out the window, lost in thought as he makes his journey down to Lagos. Lagos city skyline emerges through smoke and chaos, tall buildings, street hawkers, honking cars, and bright adverts glowing in the night. Osas sleeps under a bridge with other young men, his head resting on his back as rain falls around them. At dawn, he carries cement blocks at a construction site, sweat dripping from his face as his muscles strain under the load. A friendly Yoruba mechanic named Connor hands him water and laughs, saying, "My Igbo brother, Lagos no get mercy." They sit together at a roadside joint eating bread and beans, joking about life while downfall buses rush past. Night scene, Osas kneels beside his small candle, counting his little savings and praying silently. The next morning, flames rise from a burning shop, his workplace is destroyed, smoke filling the air as he watches helplessly. He sits alone on a curb under the rain, soaked and heartbroken, clutching his last few naira notes. A shady agent approaches him with glossy pictures of Europe, promising a new life through the Libya route. Osas hesitates, then looks up at the sky, whispering, "God, if no way you want me to go, make impossible for me. If this road takes my life, forgive me," with fear in his face. The desert stretches endlessly, a caravan of pickup trucks filled with migrants drives through golden dunes under the blazing sun. Close-up of Osas' cracked lips and sunburned face as he grips a plastic bottle of warm water without food. A young boy beside him collapses in the sand. Osas covers him gently and whispers, "Rest, brother." There he notices that the journey is not meant for boys but for men. Night in the desert, stars glitter above as the travelers huddle for warmth, faces pale with exhaustion. In Libya, armed men with rifles force migrants into a dark camp. This is where they kidnapped and raped the young girls. People's screams echo through the corridors. Osas sits in a corner, bruised and bleeding, his eyes lifted toward heaven in silent prayer. "O God, deliver me from the hands of armed men of Libya." Montage of suffering, men chained, women crying, guards laughing, Osas comforting a fellow prisoner. 7 months later, he escapes through the night with a few others, running barefoot through abandoned streets. They hide behind a broken wall as gunfire echoes in the distance towards them as they escape. The Mediterranean Sea glows under the moonlight, a small overcrowded boat rocks in the waves. Osas holds a wooden cross around his neck, eyes closed as he prays for survival. The boat overturns, chaos, screams, water splashing, he clings to a piece of wood, gasping for air. Dawn breaks over the Italian coast, his weak body washes ashore, trembling but alive. A kind old Italian fisherman helps him up, wrapping him in a blanket to nurture him. Scenes of Osas, walking, cleaning restaurants, carrying bricks, learning Italian phrases, sending money home to his family. Fade to Aunty Tessie Omo receiving a money transfer, crying tears of pride as villagers cheer, Osas don't make amo. On the other hand, Osas has been sending money to his wife to complete his building, not knowing that she has been lavishing the money with friends. Several years later, Osas traveled back to Nigeria, landed in Benin City to see his family in New Benin, wearing a fine suit, holding a briefcase, smiling proudly with his new Benz. Villagers dance around him, drummers playing, children shouting, "Odegu! Odegu!" Inside his new mansion, his wife Esther admires herself in a mirror, wearing gold jewelry. Saying, "My husband don't arrive." His sons argue over who will inherit the company. Osas watches quietly from a balcony, sadness in his eyes. Saying in his mind, "Only if these people know what I passed through." Only his daughter Adesowa runs to him joyfully, hugging him tightly. That night, he coughs and sits weakly on his bed, his reflection in the mirror looks tired and old. He decides to test his family's loyalty. He whispers to his lawyer, "Tell them I'm dying." The news spreads, his wife cries loudly for neighbors to see, his sons whisper about property division. Relatives arrive from all corners, pretending to pray while secretly counting what they'll gain. Only Adesowa stays by his side, wiping his forehead with a towel and singing softly, "God will heal you, Papa." She kneels beside his bed, praying sincerely as candles flicker in the dark room. One evening, as she feeds him, she smiles gently, saying, "Even if we lose everything, you are still my father." Osas' eyes fill with tears. He touches her cheek and whispers, "You have your mother's heart." Days later, he gathers everyone in the living room. They come in black clothes, expecting a will reading. Slowly, he stands up from his chair, strong, alive, powerful. The room gasped in shock. "I am not dying," he says calmly. "I only pretended to see your true hearts." He points at each of them, exposing their greed and lies, faces filled with shame. Then he turns to Adesowa, smiling through tears. "My daughter, everything I own belongs to you." His wife screams, his sons protest, but he raises his hand for silence. "I have crossed deserts and seas for this family. I know now that love cannot be bought." That night, under the moonlight, father and daughter sit outside, drinking palm wine together. Fireflies dance around them as he says softly, "Riches can build houses, but only love builds a home." Close-up of Amarochi's face glowing in the moonlight, her eyes filled with admiration and peace. Montage, years later, Adesowa opens schools and hospitals in her father's name, helping poor children. Villagers gather under a tree, telling the legend of Osas, the man who faked his death to find true love. The camera pans to his grave, simple and clean, with an inscription, "The road to wealth is full of graves, but the road to love never ends." Final scene, sunset over New Benin hills, palm trees swaying gently as a calm narrator says, "Money can buy loyalty, but never a single tear of love." If you find this story interesting and you have not subscribed to my channel, kindly click on the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so when I post more interesting stories like this you'll be the first subscriber, share, like or comment.